What's wrong with Blumhouse?
Why
Why don't you watch that Halloween Ends and you tell me?
I'm seeing it on
aren't
Saturday.
you letting
I
me?
Oh,
Oh, never mind.
oh well, please get your money back and just watch it on Peacock.
it,
That's what I'm gonna do.
Pay $5
dude,
instead of
I
whatever you're gonna
still
spend.
have your
You
subscription
take-
to Peacock on my fucking TV.
Oh, do you have a subscription to Peacock? Well,
No,
then
I
you
have
should.
your subscription to Peacock.
Oh, well, fucking can't, dude. Don't buy a ticket. Please, God, for the love of God, I want to save you money. I want to help you.
Is it really that bad?
It's really, really fucking bad.
Chris, if it turns out to be just decent, we're both gonna be very upset with you.
Yeah, because like
You can both be
I
Is
really
it
don't
really
mind
upset
Halloween
that bad?
Kills.
because guess what? Busta Rhymes is fucking way more entertaining than anything about this dreadful piece of
I
shit.
thought you were gonna say he was gonna come back. Because Busta
Oh,
Rhymes
no, I
is the
would not
worst thing
spoil
about the
that for you.
series.
So do you guys watch Cody Leach on YouTube?
I watched his
Yeah.
spoiler-free review.
Yeah, I
And it was
literally just
fair.
watched it.
That was a fair review.
Okay.
That was a fair
I
review.
like a couple of his stuff. I mean,
I tend
he's
to
one of
agree
those
with
guys,
Cody
like,
Leach
I'll
almost
watch
all the
like his
time.
occasional review.
I don't know. I
Where-
agree with Cody Leach a lot.
Where I can see in his review where he was trying to be nice is when he was talking about the cons and the big swing that they take.
yeah,
Oh God.
not good.
Bad.
Oh,
Still gonna watch it though.
man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna go see
I'm
it.
gonna-
I'm going with
yeah.
a couple of
Oh,
friends
I
on
mean,
Saturday,
okay,
so it'll be
I mean,
fun that
dude.
way.
It just kind of feeds into the low expectations though.
Yeah, going
Like,
with like hell level expectations. Don't go with low. Go lower.
Well, go lower. Go to the.
Go
do,
hold on. I gotta think real quick. Go to all
do
right.
that
You
thing
know
that
what
they
this felt
do.
like to me? And I feel like everybody's kind of talking about it lately because the Hellraiser movie came out. Is that like because people are talking about like the sequels and then it leads up to this Hellraiser reboot. It felt like one of those movies where they had a script and they were like, you know what, put Michael Myers in here.
Oh, that's the word. And on a positive note, Hellraiser was pretty good.
Dude,
It was all right.
I
didn't
love
hate it.
the new
I
Hellraiser.
liked it. Yeah, it was good.
I didn't hate it. That was a decent
I
movie.
like.
If I saw
Yeah,
that
I
in the
mean,
theater, I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be like, oh, you know what? I was like, after all these fucking shit sequels, this is
dude,
a
yeah,
fucking step in the right direction.
that's what I mean. Like, I was talking to you about it, and you were like, "Yeah, it's nobody's favorite like series, really." And yeah, I agree with that. But this is a better like, if you're gonna like, put all the Hellraiser movies together, this is definitely one of the better ones. And
Oh yeah.
what's her?
Oh yeah.
I'm not familiar with the actress who plays the new Pinhead, but she was really, really
Yeah,
good.
she was great. I loved all the Cenobites. The new Cenobites.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
My favorite scene in the new Hellraiser is when the woman who's like in the hospital gets cut, and then all the Cenobites start like crowding around her. That was my
Yeah.
favorite scene that was honestly my favorite scene of any horror movie this year. Was just that scene of them all, and then it ends with "Save your breath for screaming." Like it's so fucking metal.
Yeah.
Like
It doesn't
It-
show anything. I timed it actually. Like the first like real gore scene in the movie doesn't happen until like an hour and 10 minutes.
yeah, I
in.
was gonna say it's well over halfway.
Yeah. So
But they do such a good job of just like building this like dread of like, because like the Cenobites are there like the whole time. They're just not really fucking with you, like
yeah,
physically
I
fucking
love
with
that.
you, but they're terrifying.
Yeah, they're like in
the
that's the
Cenobites
thing.
were
Like
killing us, yeah.
it's oh my god, like anybody who's like just kind of a casual fan of horror, like no offense, like unless you're into like that BDSM shit, like you're not that into Hellraiser. You know what I mean? Like you can be a fan of like Doug Bradley Pinhead, the first movie, but like I don't know too many people who are like, yes, I love the flesh. The movie.
Like
Like
the way
all
I
that
could
latex.
sum it up is like I felt like they were trying in the first four Hellraiser movies. Like they were trying. Like The fourth one is not awesome, but they were trying. And then after 4, they were just like, we got to keep the rights to this movie for some reason. But this movie, decent, is a huge step in the right direction for whatever they're gonna do with this franchise.
I hope there's a second one. They
Yeah.
really like that. The girl who plays Riley, I thought she was amazing. I thought she did a great job. And the little thing that Pinhead does where she cuts her, where Pinhead cuts Riley and is like, "We've got you. We can take you whenever we want." It's like, boom, you guys have your new series lined up right here where it's Riley versus the new Hell Priest, and it's like, just go with that. You guys literally have, and they did it so smart too.
I did like that she like tricked the game where it was like she stabbed the Cenobite. It was just like,
yeah, she got the trigger.
Like, that was cool.
That was awesome, and I love
That's
Pinhead's
something you
face
did
too
not-
because
you did
Pinhead
not
just
see.
looks at her.
Something you don't see in the Hellraiser franchise ever.
Well, I liked her a lot too. I mean, the crazy thing is she on paper she's not the most likable character because she is like a recovering addict who's like essentially like living off her brother. She's not a bad person at all, but she's definitely flawed.
Mhm.
And that's kind of at first you kind of think like that's what triggers like everything that goes into like the Cenobites attacking her and her group of core friends. Of course,
Yeah.
like there's a
Yeah.
twist kind of towards the end where it turns out that none of this was by accident.
Well, I think what I loved so much about this Hellraiser movie is that it actually, more than the first one and the second one, was that it actually did feel like it had kind of a message, and like obviously it was a big metaphor for addiction and all this stuff was was this new Hellraiser movie. And then so at the end when Riley is like, I don't want anything, and Hellraiser basically is just like, well, fuck you, you just chose lament, then you're like,
Well-
you're gonna be sad for the rest of your life.
Like
Well, that's
it was, dude, it's basically like, out of all the choices that she had, she did absolutely pick the worst choice.
Oh yeah, like she
Like,
has to
look
live
at
with
it.
that,
It's
and
the
I think
right
that's
choice,
so
too. I mean, come on.
interesting for people, like for addicts that have done, have burned bridges with people, have really hurt other people because of their addiction, and then, at the end of it to be like, I'm done, but now I have to live with all of this kind of weighing on me.
Right.
It's
I
so
think
good.
That's what I mean. Though here's the thing though about this ending. She chose there was no right choice at the end of it.
Oh no, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I've been to group I mean, not trying to get all like emotional or whatever, but I've been to groups like that before. And dude, yeah, like no offense, there's not like any easy answers to this shit.
Sure.
There's really not any. Like you can
When-
either take responsibility or you can fucking live a selfish existence. There's not really like
when I say she made what was the worst choice, I meant in a sense for her. Like,
Oh
oh
yeah,
yeah,
the
Oh, I
choices
mean,
were like becoming like that guy at the end.
becoming a Cenobite.
You saw what each choice did to people. Like that guy came back with the thing in his chest. Like,
Oh
you
yeah.
thought he was
saw
going
what
to-
those choices did to people, and she both simultaneously kind of picked the best and the worst choice, because it's the worst choice in the fact that you have to live with all of that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well,
And
Pinhead
it's the best choice because she gets to live like without
Yeah.
any
Physical
any
pain.
Well,
tricks.
look, she
Yeah.
basically told the Cenobites to fuck off, but
Yeah.
but Pinhead wasn't lying. She was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to live with this the rest of your life," and yeah, that is the living
yeah.
hell, knowing that her actions
Absolutely.
resulted in her brother's death. She can't bring her brother back.
Oh, yeah.
Resulted in several other of her friends' deaths. Like yeah, like that's what I loved about that ending. Like it's honest. Like
Oh, it was a
Pinhead
great
wasn't
ending.
trying to. Pinhead was just being honest. It's like, well, we could have like had you, but guess what? You're gonna live your own little hell, like
Mhm.
for the rest of your life. Like
God,
so.
I really
why-
wish.
That's why I really like the
I
new
really
Pinhead.
wish I could tell you guys the end of this movie.
Please don't, because I'm still excited. But
I'm only saying that because if you said tell me, then you would probably change your mind.
No, I mean I'm going to see it on Saturday with a couple of friends, so I think
Oh,
that
okay, then that works.
yeah.
That if you were going by yourself, I'd probably tell you don't go by yourself.
Yeah, I don't think it would be something I would probably go and see Barbarian by myself because that's back in theaters.
Oh,
But yeah, Halloween Ends is like I want to go with a couple of friends, even though I think the two people that I'm going with like aren't horror movie people at all. So it'll be interesting to bring them to it. But
Oh, it's not like
well,
one of those movies where you're like, you know this franchise, so you're like, oh yeah, this fucking character's badass. And the people there with you are like, what the fuck's going on? This is dumb.
yeah,
This is where there'll be two
doesn't
other
die
people
tonight,
with you,
man.
and they'll be like, man, this is fucking dumb. Like everybody is gonna understand. And it's not because there's nothing wrong with Michael Myers in this movie. Like Michael Myers is Michael Myers in every movie. Like he has the same fucking modus operandi every fucking film. You
Just
get
everything surrounding him.
it's just I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Back up. I don't want to.
Oh. Hey everyone watching. Welcome to the film
Welcome
section.
to the film section podcast.
Section.
There was actually there's a guy that friended me and messaged me and was talking to me about this movie and asked me to subscribe to his YouTube channel, and I did, and he's like a big horror guy.
Oh shit.
His name is Horror Man 82, and I asked him if he would subscribe to our channel,
Yeah,
and
I think he just subscribed to us.
he did tonight. I just wanted to shout him out. His name's Matt Hart on Facebook. He's a big Halloween fan.
Hell yeah! Thanks for subscribing to us.
We were just having
Chris has not gotten our spirits up of this movie whatsoever.
I actually messaged him because he was like messaging me saying that he really liked the movie, and like I'm not gonna be a dick about it. If you like it, you like it. It's just I don't understand how. But if you like it, everybody's got different tastes.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
and I told him I was like, I don't understand this and I don't understand that, and it was just not a good movie. And he was like, well, that's your opinion, and I'm like, well, yeah. I was like,
all any of the
I'm
shit.
glad, but I was my answer instead of usually I'm just a fucking dickhead to people, and I was just like, I'm glad that you like.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
No funny,
that's what I mean.
Shit. I'm glad somebody liked.
Yeah. I just my thing is like I have no issue when people I like liking things. So it's like
you do. I want to like everything.
Yeah, so it's like even the objectively bad movies, I still like Halloween Kills. Is it good? No. Are there parts of it that really frustrate me? Yes. But I still like it. I'm still gonna watch Halloween and Halloween Kills tomorrow night in preparation for Halloween Ends. I'm still gonna have it.
You know what?
Halloween Kills is not a good movie.
I don't hate it.
Not good, but it's like
fun.
fucking. I like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it
I
lives
mean, I
up to
think,
a title called Halloween Kills.
Hey, it had the Michael Myers modus operandi. That's all I give a shit about, really, in a Halloween movie. But when you're beating me over the head with a plot, that's not good. Then I'm like, okay, where's fucking Michael Myers at?
Yeah,
the plot's bad too. Well, okay, I will say that about Halloween Kills, like all the whole like, oh, evil dies tonight. Yeah, of course, that's fucking terrible.
That was awful. Yeah,
like you said though, dude. Like there's enough in that movie.
It was so repetitive. That's all. That's really what pissed me off about is how repetitive it was with that. Like if they didn't fucking say "Evil Dies Tonight" 400 fucking times in that movie, I wouldn't be annoyed.
I just didn't like that they chased like a Danny DeVito looking person. It's like that's clearly not Michael Myers, and they know what Michael Myers looks like. Anthony Michael Hall saw his fucking mug on the screen in the bar, and it's like you know what Michael Myers looks like, dude. He's like tall and built like a brick shit house.
That wasn't even like an issue in the fucking movie. Like, why don't they know what he? Because like you said, like it's fuzzy, like from our perspective as an audience, but it's not fuzzy to them.
Oh no, he saw Michael's face. He saw Nick Castle's face.
They know what he looks like, and they should know what he looks like. Like from like even before all of that, they should have like a
Well, they also
definitive
showed the other
view.
guy too. They showed the other escaped inmate
Yeah.
on the news, and yet they're
Yeah.
going after him. And it's like, this guy looks nothing like him. He's a good 2 feet shorter than Michael, about 150 pounds of pure muscle less. Like,
Yeah.
the guy.
It's clearly not him, and it
No.
makes the movie so much more stupid.
Yeah, because it's like, I understand the mob mentality, but all that you had to do was just a different 6 foot tall man.
That
That's
made
all
more
you had
sense.
to do.
Would have made more sense.
It
That I
would've
think
made
that
so
part
much more
is. I
sense.
think that part in general is what really pissed me off.
Yeah.
About that.
Oh, yeah. That's the most frustrating part of the movie for me, because when the patient jumps out of the window and kills himself, I'm just like, why did this need to happen?
Right. Right.
Well,
Why?
you could.
Now
I
I'm
think
just upset because it's a character that we don't know that much about, that was scared the whole time, and now has a graphic death. And I'm like, for me as a viewer, that's just unpleasant to watch.
Is that how we were? But do you think that's like how we were supposed to feel about it? Now that you're saying all this, I'm kind of like,
That's the
Yeah,
point, is
like,
to
were
piss
we
you
I guess
off.
supposed
I
to
get
be
that's
made
the
to feel that
point.
way?
Like
Like it's the mob mentality that they'll just go after the wrong person, no
it's
matter who the fuck they are. Like
it's not that much better
Yes.
than the Ben Tramer thing in Halloween 2.
true,
You know what I mean? It's
but
not
that was
much
like
better
30
than that.
The
Like,
That was
and
Ben
a
Tramer
also it
thing, I
kind of
almost
paints
understand more.
Haddonfield, Illinois, in this universe, these people are fucking terrible, terrible
Oh, these
people.
people are almost as bad as
Holy
Michael. Like, no
shit,
wonder
these
Michael
people
is
are
like a serial
awful.
killer. Look at everyone around
God
him.
damn, dude. They're
bro.
lucky.
Okay, so here is something I can talk about. So we're talking about the mob mentality of this town. So in Halloween Kills, you don't see much of it, but the town, they're just assholes. And the second one, you get the mob mentality. And this one, they're still assholes. Like they're more of an asshole in this fucking movie, if you can believe it.
It's
But
almost like
didn't Michael
Godfather, man.
kill like half the town at the end of Halloween Kills?
Oh yeah.
He probably should have
But
done a
like
better job.
they're assholes.
Not only did
Now
he kill the town, he killed
assholes.
several
Now they're
important
assholes
members.
to the wrong people. Like these people are like these people we pop out of nowhere in public and be like, Laurie Strode, you got my fucking grandma killed. Like, shit.
Some guy
And
just pops.
you're watching Laurie. You're watching Laurie Strode try to come to grips with the things that happen, just like the town does, and she's not an asshole.
It's like that one guy from like Harry Potter or from Happy Gilmore just keeps following Laurie Strode around. Jackass.
Hey, Laurie Strode, jackass. He just pops up when she's fighting Michael Myers.
Like, is Haddonfield small because every time they showed these people in public, some fucking rando would walk up and tell them they wished they died instead of some family member or whatever. I'm like, man, can't they go to the grocery store and just get some shit? Like,
Well, it's like you're not more mad at Michael Myers, like the guy that perpetrated the crimes, than fucking the person that was also a victim of the person that you're fucking. You know what I mean? Like,
no, one of them actually told her that Michael Myers was her fault.
of course it
Yeah,
was.
I would be the most mad at like the assholes that did the podcast in the 2018 one. They're the ones that like essentially started all of this.
They did they stirred that shit right up, yeah.
They stirred that shit right up.
Hey, Mike, I got your mask here. You want to kill some more people? Hey, Mike. He's like tapping him on the forehead with it.
The fucking balls for these guys to ask to get money from Blumhouse, so we end up here to where exactly how this film ends. Like, if I was Jason Blum, I'd probably sue these guys. I got scammed out of millions of dollars.
Well, no, I mean, dude, they're gonna make their money back.
Oh yeah, I saw that because I was reading because I didn't know it was going to be on Peacock tonight. Like, and they said that in the article that it was basically on pace to just make 50 million on the weekend. So
yeah, it's gonna make its money back.
Man. It's a
especially-
Halloween movie in the middle of fucking October.
Yeah, like by
Um,
by October 31st, this movie is gonna have made its money back and then some. And then
yeah.
also just the streaming revenue too, because I was trying to think about why like Universal would just dump Halloween Ends, like one of their biggest
Because,
campy
right?
slashers. But it's like it's because Peacock is a like no one really has Peacock. No one's really
Yeah, they're trying to drum up subscriptions.
yeah. Which but again it's like I don't think the third movie in your third trilogy, fourth trilogy, fifth, whatever the fuck it is, fifth trilogy of these fucking
Well, there's only two in the Rob Zombie verse, so can't call that a trilogy.
timeline,
But
the fourth
there's
timeline, I
there
guess.
are definitely three different timelines in this series. Yes,
Yeah.
there's the Rob Zombie. Oh wait, there's four. There's the original, which is 1 and 2. There is um the Thorn trilogy, which is like 4, 5, 6,
One which is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6,
and then there's the Rob Zombie, and then there's this trilogy.
which is
So
just
Well, you know
one
what?
2018 kills and ends.
yeah, yeah. There's like three or four
You know what
timelines.
all these series have in common, though. None of them are not divisive. You
Well,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Every single one of these is fucking like you're gonna have people who are fans of this series till the end of time being like fucking, oh well, this series did it better, or this
I
series,
didn't I didn't read too much into this recent trilogy, but I feel like the last two, this one that just came out and Kills, are probably two of the most divisive. Like
Kills is
people feel
definitely
divisive
yeah.
about
do
three,
you
which
think
is
they're the
probably
worst
like
though?
Myers.
Like
But like,
as a fan of the series though, do you think they're the worst?
no,
I still say Halloween 5 is the absolute
Halloween 5 is the absolute
yeah.
shit.
Definitely the laziest.
I,
Yeah, it's terrible.
you know what? I can appreciate Resurrection for it being what 2002 or whatever, and they were doing a fucking like streaming show off the internet.
Oh, it was real way ahead of its time.
Way ahead. Some of the execution pretty rough, but dude, I watched it the other night just because it was on this fucking
It's
list I
fun.
have.
It's a lot of fun.
I was very mad at myself, but the only thing I came out of it with recently watching it was Buster Rhymes. They just were like, here's a bunch of badass one-liners. You don't have like real dialogue. You just come
Yo,
out of the work, you say fucking catchphrases, and then you go away and you come back and say more catchphrases. Everyone
yo,
else, okay, like it was
Bus-
fine.
Well, the
Buster Rhymes fucking commits in that movie though. There's a scene in the very beginning where the lead girl in the auditions like screams so loud it like breaks a glass, and then they just cut to Buster Rhymes. He's like, ah, yeah. He's so
Buster was,
fucking like
well,
and Buster was feeling it.
yeah, it's
I love
everyone
it.
is clearly having
A good
like
time.
everyone's just having fun. Like, and you
Yeah,
can pretty clearly tell that.
yeah, it's a really
And
fun
then
movie.
obviously like H2O, I think is awesome, except for the mask. But aside from that, I
Oh
think
yeah, dude, the mask had
What
been
are
shit
the
since.
characters in that one?
I mean, 5, 6, that they've all the after two, the masks just progressively get shittier. I think five's the worst.
yeah.
The mask sucks in H2O, but everything else about it's pretty
Oh,
good.
it's
Like
great. Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis
H2O
is fine.
suffers.
I really
H2O
I like
suffers from
LL Cool J a lot in that movie.
yeah.
Like yeah,
H2O suffers
he's
from like giant eye holes in the mask. Like
yeah.
it's funny because I'm watching like a retrospective, and this person was talking about H2O, and they're like, so we have this movie in part two, he gets shot in the eyes and burned, and then when you look at H2O in that scene where they both see each other in that little window, like
Yeah.
the eye holes are so big, that man was not burned or shot in his fucking eyes. Like
Yeah.
he looked like he fucking just walked off the street, like regular ass person. Like he didn't
Yeah.
look like he went through any shit whatsoever.
Well, which one's the one that had the CGI mask?
H2O.
That was H2O. That had
H2O is the
Oh
the
one.
wow,
It's
really?
like the
I didn't
dude.
know that about that. I just thought it was a really bad mask.
no. Well, there was like one scene where like they didn't have
Yeah.
the mask, and so they just CGI'd.
Well,
It's
they
only
added
like
more
one or two
definition
scenes.
to the mask.
Yeah.
Like they added like the cheekbones and shit. It's a scene where the really forgettable actually one of the more forgettable characters in the whole series. Like he's like reaching into the garbage disposal for something, and he keeps keeping his eyes on the switch because he keeps thinking Michael's gonna come in there and
Oh yeah.
uh, hit it. And it doesn't happen. Then he turns around and Michael's there.
Yeah,
It's not. Like
that one's
it's
kind of egregious.
too like because dude, it was like in the VHS era, so I barely noticed.
I want to apologize
It's
to
much
you.
noticeable more now, or much more noticeable now. But
I want to apologize to you because the main character in this movie's name is fucking Corey. So I'm
yeah,
sorry already.
I've heard. Ugh,
It's
not, it ain't easy.
a real. It's just it's. I don't know. It feels like there's
I
like
saw like the
no.
trailers and I was like, oh, well.
It just
Even
kind
even
of
if that
feels
guy's name
like
wasn't Corey, I wouldn't be like, oh fuck.
I think the trailer shows you all the Michael Myers that there is in that movie. Like, because
Yeah, dude, that's what I heard. Like they kind of put Michael Myers on the sidelines. I don't like that.
it was
That's like my main excuse.
very much on the sidelines until the end. Like it was. I don't know, man. It was.
I'm gonna be getting bullied by Michael Myers fans for the next month or two.
Yo, I can't wait to hear.
Her name's Corey.
I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear what that dude from work thinks.
Wait, what?
The prep man.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear his thoughts on this. I really can't.
People are just assholes. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Why they don't like it. That's why they don't like it. It's because they're assholes, not because it wasn't good. He's gonna start bullying me.
I like scream piece of shit, but like piece of shit in the sense of the way it went, not piece of shit like the way it was made.
Dude,
Because
like, I mean, you could
they
argue.
look good. They look good.
I
The
like
acting-
Halloween Kills, but if somebody's gonna call it a piece of shit, it's like, all right, you're not wrong, you know.
like the acting. Like I think we're a little spoiled now. I think these little reboots and later these last like few years of horror have incorporated some really good acting.
Yeah, we
And
got like some like really like huge gems in the past like few years. That's the
oh,
thing.
absolutely. And I think the act like they they hire actors that aren't terrible. So I can't say like anybody did a bad job. This was literally the makers of this film.
It's just like
It wasn't any of the people in the movie, like because they all did a really good job.
It's just a story. Okay. Well,
I'm good with it. I mean, me and Mark are both definitely still watching this just out of like because it's a fucking Halloween movie. You know what I mean? Like it's Halloween, dude.
I'm
Come on.
still gonna buy the
All right,
steel
man.
book.
It could be the worst Halloween movie ever made, and we're still gonna be like, all right, well, we're still gonna watch it. Like, you know.
Still,
Clearly,
yeah.
I watched it, so yeah.
I mean, I'm still gonna buy it when it comes out on Steelbook next year. I'm a completionist. I need all 3 on Steelbook, dude.
Oh, hey, speaking of steelbooks, my friend sent me a link to a Walmart exclusive
Of Terrifier 2.
the steelbook. I pre-ordered it.
It looks so good, dude. I bought that Army of Darkness Steelbook.
Dude, it's so pretty. I actually gotta buy that. I'm not gonna.
I'm so excited. I bought that, and I finally bought the Spider-Man No Way Home Steelbook.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Next week I get that Punisher Warzone. That Punisher Warzone one comes out finally. That Best Buy exclusive.
Oh shit.
I was like, man, I feel like I pre-ordered this months ago, and I went to the Best Buy website, and it was like still for pre-order, and I was like, oh, 10/18, okay. I was like, we're good.
Dude, fucking, I love Punisher Warzone.
Yeah, it's
dude. I love that one, dude. That's like that really is one of the good ones.
But it's like it's a Punisher movie, and it does what you expect the Punisher to do. So
yeah,
that's what makes it.
It's not gonna win everybody over, but
not a classic. But
in terms of like an HBO late night watch, even though it came out like a decade after that whole era ended, like dude, you would totally see that. Like, and I think Ray Stevenson, I think he's great as Frank Castle. I think he's really fucking good. Yeah,
it was cool, man. It was what
it's more cartoony. It really is a little bit, but in like a more gory way, but in an intentional way. But dude, I really like Punisher Warzone.
I agree. I just think the first one took the material way too seriously, and then I mean, John Travolta was the biggest faux pas of that fucking movie.
Not only did it take it too seriously, but it made it boring.
Yeah, it
Except
was
for
like the beginning.
aside from
The beginning
aside
was
from like a few scenes, like like the fight with Kevin Nash as the Russian, that was pretty cool. Like
that was
a couple like random action scenes in it, and a couple like, and I thought Thomas Jane was like good too, but
Thomas Jane was good. I just
yeah, like
there
just
was
it's
there
a
was a
movie.
time there was a time where I sort of took like John Travolta a little seriously, like with he had a good run of he had like a comeback with Pulp Fiction. It had a little bit of a good run, but this is the point where I don't know if he was doing things to his face or something, but I couldn't take him seriously, and I
That'd have
definitely
been my
was
living room.
literally my least favorite part of that Punisher movie.
That's kind of when he started kind of kind of sucked. Like, I don't know if that had anything to do with like South Park sweeping in with like that impression of him like being like, "Oh my God, is this John Travolta's house? Oh my God,
Oh my
That's
god!
when, that's when
is
like
that Ron
Travolta
Hubbard with
started
him? Oh
doing
my
like
God."
all. That's when like Travolta started playing like villains. Like he did that. He did like From Paris with Love, Taking a Pelham
Yeah.
1-2-3.
Bro, did it?
I like those movies, by the way. I like From Paris with Love, and I liked the Taking of Pelham 1-2-3. Like,
That's just
regardless of how.
when like he started doing those the early to mid 2000s. He was doing like a lot of just like villain roles. It's
Yeah,
weird.
it
'Cause it was
became
like
a
right after like his
decline.
son died or something. He started he
I'm,
Well, his son died horrifically. His son
I
died
just
like in
yeah,
a
it was
accident
like
in the bathroom.
a shower accident or something. Like he
Yeah.
Yeah,
fell.
he like
I
literally like died in
oh
his
no,
own.
didn't he have like he had like a seizure when he was in the
Yeah,
shower?
yeah.
Oh,
That's
I
why when
am telling you what a piece of shit this movie is, and we're talking about John Travolta, and I just realized that I like that movie, The Fanatic, but for the wrong reasons.
oh
Well, The Fanatic is one of those so bad it's good. Like
Oh
John
my god,
Travolta's
the
very
Fred Durst
first
movie.
words in that movie are "I can't talk right now. I gotta poo."
yeah.
Mhm.
That's his
Yeah.
first. That's the first line that John Travolta speaks in that movie.
Did you know that he thought? Did you know that he thought this was going to be his comeback for an Oscar and shit?
Oh God,
Yeah,
I was working with Devin Sawa.
and fucking wasn't it was Fred Durst that
Yeah.
was the director, right? Writing and director, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no, this was not going to be your Oscar turn, John
Yo,
Travolta.
let my man Fred Durst live, bro. He's a director. He's serious.
Dude, Fred Durst, I mean, I will say this, The Fanatic is shot well. Like it
But
looks like a movie.
I've never seen it. Is at least like competently done.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
you should
movie.
watch it.
Devin Sawa is in it and he's doing his
It's-
thing.
Like I love them.
It's
Dude,
it's
Devin
made
Sawa,
well.
like good for
It's
him.
made
Like,
well
he's-
enough. It's made well enough to when you're laughing at shit that they don't intentionally make it for you to laugh. You're laughing.
Mm.
Like it looks good. I don't know how to explain John Travolta's performance, but
John Travolta is doing something.
Can't make any excuses for it.
the only thing I can do is the only thing I do. Some of the shit that this guy says just makes me fucking laugh, and there are parts in the movie where he's doing some dark shit, and I'm laughing at him for the way he's talking and reacting. Like I don't know.
He has a weird British accent in the movie too.
Oh, dude. It's the one that sticks in my head, but he's like, okay, so he's like his character in the movie is it's like LA, so you know how like in LA and New York they just have those people that do performances in the street like for money. Like, okay, say New York, you went to New York City and there was a guy there were people dressed up like superheroes, and you're like, oh shit, look at everybody getting a picture with him. And if you're a tourist, you're like, I'm gonna go ask him for a picture, but they're charging you money. Like that kind of person. So he's in a public bathroom, staring in the mirror, dressed like a fucking Keystone Cop, and he's like, "Welcome to Hollywood, where dreams are made of."
Dude, you sound like his character from Battlefield Earth.
Dude, that's literally how he sounds. He's like,
Holy shit.
"Welcome to
That's his
Hollywood,"
only,
and he doesn't
that's
say.
his only English.
He says where dreams are. He said, "Welcome to Hollywood, where dreams are made of." Does that make any fucking sense?
Welcome to Hollywood, where we hunt human animals.
But he doesn't. But it's funny because he's doing the British accent. So he doesn't say Hollywood. He says Hollywood.
Hollywood, yeah.
Welcome to Hollywood.
Hollywood.
That's the shit I'm talking about.
Sounds like
see that?
He sounds like how evil, like actual Hollywood people, like or how actual like Hollywood agents sound. Like
you see that
yeah,
scene,
he captures their actual evil.
and the way it's shot, and you're like I'm not gonna say a normal person, but you see what the direction wants it to be, which is like, okay, you can see there's something like more mentally wrong with this guy than just his disability.
Yeah.
But it's made fucking hilarious because of the way he's acting. Like,
well, yeah,
I mean, First had a decent idea, at least for like a direct to digital kind of movie. But
it's a good premise.
It honestly could have been a better movie without John Travolta.
Yeah,
like
it is a good premise.
Yeah, I like it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
but if he was trying to be taken seriously or anything, like John Travolta probably wasn't the guy for that.
And I don't think you have had a better actor than John Travolta for that, though. Like, to be honest, like
he went in. He was doing like fucking facial prosthetics and shit. He was going in.
Playing a character named Moose. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a lot of people. And here's the thing: Travolta is still good. He's still like very good. It's just he's in that like stage in his career where he's like, you know.
I think he's in that. I think he's in that Bruce Willis stage of his career. Where he's like paychecks.
Yeah, it's more about paychecks because nobody's like gonna fucking nobody's like beating down his door to like, you know.
Right. It's not like fucking.
Which is fine. I mean, that's not enough.
Calling him up like, "Hey man, I'm doing a new movie. Would you like to be in it?" Like he probably has to fucking search for work. Yeah. I always have to like turn on the camera every time.
So yeah, that happens to me too. That microphone also.
Oh, there we go.
At first it was the microphone, then it became just the camera. But all right. So we kind of just did the same thing we did last week, but that was my fault. My bad. Okay. I went off. And this week we're talking about Reanimator, and what was the topic? And it's crazy because I know I picked the topic because I picked Reanimator. So what the
lesser known franchises.
Oh, okay.
So really, it's your fault. No. It's like, no, I mean, it's, dude, we do this every single week, dude. It's but lesser known franchises.
Not ratings this week.
Like lesser known franchises, like how when I like kind of something like when I was talking to you and I'm like, hey, no one when they pick their favorite franchise characters or whatever, do they pick Hellraiser? You know what I mean? Like movies, like I picked Reanimators. Reanimator is like a franchise, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And no one's really like Freddy, Pinhead, Herbert West. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if you want to talk about
those type of franchises,
if you want to talk about those kind of franchises, again, it's not like a lesser franchise. I want to consider it that way, but it's still kind of like in the same stratosphere as like some of the more popular ones. Is the Puppet Master franchises. I mean, it's not up there. It had a I don't know if it's just I would call it like a new entry or whatever that came out a couple years ago with the dude from Reno 911.
That one's pretty funny.
that one was good. I thought that was all right.
It was fun, dude. It was a fun one.
Yeah. I thought it was like really well done and really well acted. That's one though. Like it's got some really shitty sequels, and it's one of the few where it's like its best movie is randomly its third one because it's essentially it's essentially the puppets versus neo-Nazis in World War II era Germany.
Yeah, that movie sucks, dude.
That one's good. Yeah, that one's really, really good. That one's essentially Inglourious Bastards with the puppets.
Yeah.
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 It's good one. It's a good one though.
The first
That's
one is
another
the first one is actually
underrated one.
the first one is actually kind of fucking boring. Like,
Dude, yeah.
yeah.
It's the first and the second one's okay, but it's kind of like you said about the first one. It's kind of boring. The third one's good. The fourth and fifth they got some energy to it, but they're like very like super cartoony.
You
Um,
could tell when Charles Band started making movies when he wasn't under the Paramount umbrella. Like,
yeah,
there was no money in these movies, these later
well,
sequels at all.
yeah, like it's one of those series. It's got like I have no idea how many movies. Probably similar to the amount of Hellraiser ones, but um, a few of them though are very good. I think at least,
Oh
or at
yeah.
least a few of them are decent.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Yeah, that's spot on. Like that, picking that franchise is pretty spot on because people aren't like top five, and no one's like Puppet Master.
Oh,
Like, so it
again,
doesn't mean
like
they're necessarily bad franchises. It's just something that people wouldn't pick. Like if you're like, hey, what are your favorite horror franchises? Like not something that's coming out of somebody's mouth first. Like,
yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's nobody's first choice, but it is somebody's. It's like they'll still mention it. Like
what do you got, Mark? What is one you're thinking of?
It's a franchise that's uh pretty hit and miss. Like there are some movies in the franchise that are really good. There are some movies that just are very bad, and that is actually the Psycho franchise.
okay,
The
cool.
first one obviously is a classic. Um, I can't remember if it's the second one or the third one where it really focuses a lot more on Tony Perkins's character, and
Part
I
two.
like
Part two's the one with Meg Tilly.
I
yeah,
think it's
the
the
third
second one
one.
where it's
The
like he
third
gets
one
out of
has
prison.
third one has Jeff Fahey.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's the second
the
one
second
where
one's actually pretty good.
yeah, where he gets out of jail and he's like really trying
Yeah,
to be a good
yeah.
guy.
That
Part,
dude,
part,
that one is pretty fucking solid. That is a
Yeah.
solid sequel.
Um.
part two is the one where he gets a job as a line cook, and
Yeah.
like Meg Tilly becomes like kind of like his friend and whatnot.
Yeah,
Um. So I mean, like, yeah, like the series gets pretty shitty. But it.
and then it culminates in a shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah,
God, that Gus Van Sant version is just
point.
Unnecessary.
I don't know.
very unnecessary. Vince Vaughn is
The message is pointless.
yeah, it's bad. But
Yeah.
the fact that the second Psycho movie, the fact that any Psycho movie after the first one is even like good after what the first Psycho is, after just the pinnacle of
Yeah.
filmmaking of
Oh
the
yeah,
1960s of that movie is like yeah, anyone watching that hasn't at least seen Psycho 2, watch Psycho 2. Like it's a really good movie.
there's
There's
that one.
there's
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 that
a
one
sequel.
that's like straight to Showtime. Psycho 4: The
Oh,
Beginning.
with
Yeah.
his mother, the one.
Yeah,
Are you talking about the one? What's her name? Olivia Hussey plays his mother
yeah, and
in like
the kid from
flashbacks, and it's
ET.
Henry Thomas
Yeah, the
playing
kid
him
from
like
ET
his
is
young.
Norman Bates. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good movie.
yeah.
The
I
show was
didn't.
good too. Bates Motel, that was a pretty good show. I've
Yeah,
only
yeah.
seen a couple of episodes, but the episodes
Do
that I did watch
does
were good.
anybody
What's
does
the
anybody
juicy?
remember the Bates Motel show from like the 80s?
There was a show from the 80s.
Yeah, it has Jason Bateman in it. It's called Bates Motel. I don't even think it had a whole season, but like I'm
Oh
sure you
shit.
can find the episodes of it. It is from the 80s, and it
is,
definitely has Jason
Norman Bates is Norman Bates a sarcastic asshole in it?
Bateman. Well, I don't know if anybody's. I don't think they're necessarily using Norman Bates in the show. There's like Jason Bateman's in it. He's the lead character, but I don't think um Norman Bates is any part of this, like any part of the show except for like lore.
Oh, it's just one of those shows.
His name is his
And I
name is
want to say,
Chadwick
I think
Yates.
I may have watched just an episode, and it was a long time ago, but I feel like it was made as like a sort of comedic. Like,
So Chris, your franchise.
could go with like the Return of the Living Dead franchise.
Yeah, cool. That's a good one.
It had like 5 movies, but 2 don't really count.
First 3. The first 3 are the first one's great, the second 2 are all right, I would say.
The second one's not so hot, but
Yeah,
man, if you say part 2 or part 4 or 5, then you're like, yeah, 2's a fucking masterpiece.
I was the first one of these I saw was part 3 when it was with my brother on a Cinemax late night marathon in like '93. So I
Right.
had to be so I was like 5 years old at the time. But I remember that being one of the first times like I saw like the girl before she becomes all zombified. I thought was gorgeous. Um,
Oh yeah.
Cause she reminded me of Rogue from the X-Men a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I thought she was really cute. That stood out to me. It's the sequels. I like the sequels. They're not as good as the first one. I think the first one you do have to kind of be more adult to understand because it has a very grim, very dark ending. um, and it's very social satire movie too, which is but in a good way, not like in a lazy way, not in a fucking like
I
uh
just wanna tell you this week that I like your shirt.
The Beastie Boys.
oh
Yeah.
Beastie Boys, yeah.
I just wanna tell you your shirt fucking kicks ass this week.
Yes.
I'm
Intergalactic
wearing a
plan.
nightmare
How
shirt.
funny would it be if I just like spin out and like to like a fucking intergalactic like fucking
What if you just
intergalactic? I
what
just
if
turn into a giant robot and just
what
starts
if
doing
what what if your room just fucking all of a sudden went dark with like fucking starry black
no,
lights on the ceiling and you were
no,
like,
Chris, you
now
shouldn't have
you
mentioned the
don't tell me
T-shirt.
to
No,
smile. You
it's
fuck
like
around and make
that
it work so
Hellraiser movie.
well.
It's like that Hellraiser movie. All of a sudden, everything starts turning different. Like, Chris, no, why'd you say something? No, intergalactic
What
planetary.
all of a sudden you just break into fucking rap. You're like, I am going to do the WAP, also known for the Flintstone flop.
Intergalactic planetary.
Fucking,
I just start
that's
mouthing it.
fucking, it's a fucking dope album, by the way.
It is. It
Uh,
really is.
the first Return of the Living Dead, I feel like if they waited longer if they waited till the 90s to make this franchise, it would be just okay. But I think the first film is like it couldn't be made any other time. There's zombies, there's fucking punk rock, and it just the way the movie looks. Like it's 80s and
Oh, it is so 80s.
it's very
It is so a product of its time.
the music at the time, the way it was filmed, like there's nothing like you couldn't have done that later. You couldn't have done it in the 70s. Like it was just a really good movie for its time. Um, clearly the most recognizable in the franchise or whatever. Even though people aren't going to be like, "Yo, man, number 3, Return of the Living Dead franchise." Like no one's going to be saying that, but they put out a couple passable movies that stay in people's minds for
Absolutely,
longer
absolutely.
than
The
15
first
minutes.
3, dude, are like passable. Like I know
For
the parts 2 and part 3 aren't perfect, but
absolutely.
they, still very good in my opinion. And like you said, this movie is a product of its time. You couldn't make a movie like this again. I kind of view it in the same way as like the original 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Like I don't think you're going to be
Oh,
able to recreate that. You know what I
no.
mean? Like I don't that movie is just so its own thing, just like this movie is just so its own thing. This movie is like it's we're not going to get into it until a few episodes later, but that's why I like that Dinner in America movie because it is very like punk rock. And
Oh yeah.
the this movie and like the Ninja Turtles movie have almost like this like really nihilistic punk rock aspect to it. Like fuck you, I don't give a fuck. Like
Hell yeah.
that's basically what you're seeing on the screen with the characters and like,
Yeah.
um Also some awesome characters in this. It's always gonna be my favorite. Fuck, what is his name? He's the dude from Friday the 13th Part 5 who plays the older brother who gets
Oh,
killed in the.
Tom Matthews.
No, the brother who gets killed in Part 5. The
Oh,
black dude.
Miguel Nunez.
Yes, he's awesome in this fucking
Yeah.
movie. He's like one of the last surviving dudes, but
My favorite.
he's so
Some,
cool.
some of my favorite shit in that movie is in the beginning when that first like thing happens with the fucking yellow dead guy, and just Tom Matthews' character and the two older dudes. Like whenever there's scenes, whenever there was just those three guys, it felt like an episode of the Three Stooges, kind of, or like Abbott and Costello. Like,
Yeah.
'cause they were just like doing goofy shit. Like, and
Yeah.
there's like dead people running around, and they're just doing like they're like bumbling and fucking. They got that like lady strapped to the fucking, or that like half dead lady strapped to the thing, and it's just like goofy. Like,
Well, it's just funny, like you said, with the yellow naked corpse with no head, like running around. It just gets up and it's literally just like, like fucking,
like this.
it's just like attacking them wildly. Like we can't see where it's going at all, but it's very silly, but it's very entertaining. Like it's definitely like one of the better horror. Actually, that's what I mean. Like I'd say it's one of the better horror movies of the 80s that just happened to
Yeah,
spawn a franchise.
yeah,
Uh, so, like that's the coolest thing about like the 80s and 90s and even like you can say about the 2000s really. Uh, Time will tell on like the between 2010s and 2020s if there's gonna spawn any remakes. But
going in
dude,
the right
like
direction.
there's like good shit.
Seems like we're heading in a good direction,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there was a pretty good lull point, and I like to call that the early 2000s. But
Yeah.
I think we're steering in the right direction now for sure. Something's gonna come out that's gonna be like the next franchise character or something. Like there's I mean,
I think
clearly
it's
we
art.
got it. Probably not on a high fucking level, but this
No,
like
I think
Ty
it's
West
art, dude.
trilogy of fucking films. What?
I think it's Art the Clown is our
Oh
next
yeah. Oh yeah.
is our next
I don't-
horror
I gotta
icon.
see. I gotta see Terrifier too, man.
So do I.
Really
I don't
But
cool.
I'm
know.
just
Like
saying I think Art is gonna be that. He is
you
like
might
the
be right.
new slasher.
You think art's like what this like? Because I mean, I think we mentioned the last show. Like aside from Pennywise or like Bill Skarsgård's version of Pennywise, there hasn't been like a ton necessarily. But Art the Clown, like definitely. If there's any like names out there, kind of sucks that they're both clowns, but
You want to know what I think made Barbarian really like extra good was the fact that I know Bill Skarsgård was Pennywise, so I was waiting for him to be a fucking insane piece of shit at any moment in that
um,
movie.
is that what happens? Don't spoil it.
No, 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 no. No. It's like no, 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 no. That's not what happened. Um,
Because he plays like a good dude, also.
well, no, in this movie, he's like it's just the way you feel because you've seen this guy play Pennywise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I don't even think the movie doesn't do it, and the movie doesn't do it. Like, the girl is weird about it in the movie, but personally, for me, I'm like, oh, it's this guy in this movie. He played Pennywise. My brain's just straight like
Yeah.
this dude's gonna be a fucking crazy person or something. Like something bad. Like every time he was like really nice in this movie, and fucking I was just like, nope, nope, he's playing. Nope.
dude, he does both good. That's what I liked about him in that.
Right.
It's not like a great movie, but that villains movie or where the hell it was with him and the girl from It Follows, like play the two that break into like the couple's house. Um, I think it's called Villains. I want to call it that, but that's the same thing. Like it seems like he's gonna be a piece of shit, but then he like finds out they're holding a little girl hostage in the basement. He's like, Yeah, here's the thing. I'm not fucking like leaving without that kid. Like,
But it's like, but it's just personally the way I felt. Like the movie was, I don't think the movie was steering you to make you think like the character was a piece of shit. It was just because I'm like, this guy's Pennywise, gonna do something bad, like just
Yeah.
automatically because he was so
dude,
good
dude,
as
and
Pennywise. I'm
dude,
like,
apparently they already filmed the Crow remake.
Yeah, it's already
I
done.
Yeah,
saw that it.
shit's in the bag, man. I can't wait to see like the first
Yeah.
image of him, dude.
And
I'm
Bill
stoked.
Skarsgård's gonna play Nosferatu.
Oh shit. Okay,
God
I can
damn,
see that.
goddamn
All
Sam.
skinny dude, like
Yeah, once I heard about
both
the
are like
Nosferatu
fucking
movie,
great actors.
I'm pretty psyched for it.
Yeah.
For what?
Pretty psyched for that Nosferatu movie.
Dude, Robert Eggers. I think it's Robert Eggers, Bill Skarsgård, and Lily Rose are
I mean, I watched The Northman, and I kind of get why they were like, put it on all streaming. Like, not shitty, but that's definitely not his best work.
no.
Not
Mm.
shitty by any means. I
Oh
don't think
no,
it's
it's still
shitty. I think
an
it's
amazing
probably the
movie.
weakest out of his work, but
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
not
Lighthouse
shitty.
is still my favorite, but yeah, it's still a great movie, but it is his third best of three
Huge
movies.
fan of both those guys. Like,
Mine's
dude, I
quick.
mean, because both are like huge dudes in real life, and like both are like really talented actors. Like that's why
Like,
I'm like
the
that's why
vivid.
I was like not on board for that Crow remake until I heard that Skarsgård was getting the fucking like or that he was gonna be playing Eric Drayton.
Yeah, I just think about the facials that he did in it, and then like picture him with the crow makeup, and I'm like, oh man, this guy's gonna crush it. He's
Yeah.
gonna,
Oh, he's gonna do so good.
he's got
Just
to. Because if I'm wrong,
reinvigorates everyone at home. This is how big of a fan of the Crow I am. I'm a,
I
I'm a bit of a hardcore fan of that shit.
a little bit, just a little bit, man, you're fine.
um
No cause for alarm. Has anybody else? Anybody else got another lesser known franchise, or you want to talk about Reanimator?
Oh, we can talk about Reanimator a little more.
a little more.
Reanimator,
We didn't even start.
Reanimator. Uh, I think it's one of those ones you don't get into until you're already into horror movies. You know what I mean? Like it's not a lot of people's first entry into like the
I I
horror
liken
genre.
it. I liken it to when I would have to go to the video store, like when I was like in fifth or sixth grade. So I started like hanging out with my friends, and we'd have like the sleepovers where you'd go to Blockbuster and rent a movie. Then it became like it's horror because we all had seen like a horror movie and we were into it. So we just go to the horror section, and it's like Reanimator's like you're gonna rent all the Friday the 13th and the Nightmare on Elm Streets and shit, and then you're gonna be like, oh, there's what's this Reanimator? Like now you're on to the next box. Like you're like, all right, I've seen these covers, so I got all the shit out of the way. Now let me go grab a movie that because the cover looks fucking cool, right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like fucking syringe, glowing green syringe. You're like, oh, what the fuck's going on in here? So you just get it, and then you find out. Like,
Yeah, like when you're a kid, you're not necessarily like when you're like a little kid, you're more interested in seeing something that maybe has some interesting looking monsters as opposed to some good gore. You
right?
know, you aren't
Absolutely.
going in there expecting like gory decapitations and people being disemboweled and all that.
Yeah, you're definitely not in like fourth grade, and you're like, man, I gotta get some HP Lovecraft in my life.
Yeah, yeah, it's like you do meet some people like that sometimes. There's a name for people like that. Their name is Jeffrey Dahmer. What do you think?
We're gonna watch Reanimator, and then you can leave.
Want to come over and watch Reanimator with me? I have Bride of Reanimator too. Oh,
I won't make you. I won't make you watch Beyond Reanimator because you'll be dead.
at my own place. Got a little man of action tonight.
I am. I would call this a lesser known franchise, but I will be honest in saying that like You probably don't have to watch any other one except the first one.
Yeah. You weren't a fan of Bride of Reanimator at all?
It's all right. It's kind of just there.
Yeah, I've always kind of had that. And dude, there's one the one that debuted on Sci-Fi Channel like 20 years ago.
Beyond Reanimator, it's pretty bad.
Beyond, yeah, that one fucking sucks.
I mean, aside from Jeffrey Combs, there's nothing redeeming about that. So, like, Jeffrey Combs definitely drives each entry in this film, but like,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
the third,
He's the running force behind it. And
Yeah.
I like the dude who kind of plays always the dude who's gets fucked over by by Jeffrey Combs' character.
oh, his like in the first one, he's the roommate.
Yeah, the roommate. He's like the good-looking Mark essentially.
Yeah, that guy was awesome. That guy did that guy was great.
Yeah, he's always good. But aside from him, like it's not like oh, and the dude who played like the evil scientist in the first one. Like he's almost even worse than Herbert West.
David Gale.
Yeah, he's like the guy that forces himself on the
Oh
on
yeah,
the
we go to the most exciting scenes in cinematic history. Yeah.
yeah, it's like okay, yeah, you're a little bit worse than Herbert.
Mark,
What's up?
have you ever seen Reanimator?
I have, but it's been like 10 years since I've seen it.
Okay, that's fair.
And I really don't remember any of it.
Oh, good.
I get that, dude. Like I
I
grew
know
up
it's
in
like
the 90s and
H.P.
even with
Lovecraft's Frankenstein.
Yeah, in a fucked up way. Yeah.
It's one of those movies though, like me and Chris were saying, like uh, what's his name? Jeffrey Combs really makes this movie in a lot of ways. It's not like the most original movie for a time. It's a very like Frankenstein kind of shit, sorry, let me
Well, yeah.
but a very like Frankenstein like type of movie. Uh
It's
very
really
much of its
good.
time though, but dude, Jeffrey Combs is kind of like what makes it stand out.
Oh, for sure. I really enjoy the first one. That like I have whatever this thing Arrow did, put it in a box and shit. I like this movie that much.
Yeah.
Kind of really into Stuart Gordon movies. He just has a style of filmmaking that I like. He had a pretty good streak in the '80s too. Like when he had that and From Beyond. Like that was like a weird ass fucking movie, but the effects and everything and the way it looks and Jeffrey Combs really fucking like killed it. Like,
Dude, I also really like that one Dolls that he that he made. That was another like really like kind of obscure one that not a lot of people talk about, but that's a good one too from
great.
Stuart
Yeah,
Gordon.
I fuck with that. Mark hadn't seen this movie in 10 plus years, so he isn't.
At least 10 years.
Jesus Christ. Do you remember anything? Do you have any thoughts on it?
I like it.
All right, good. I'm glad.
It's a good movie. I wouldn't have agreed
It's
to
good.
talk about it if I didn't.
Had people in it.
There's people. And
Yeah,
then
there's people.
there's a needle.
The guy in it. Yeah,
I know there's like kind of like there's like a really kind of sick, twisted sort of like sense of humor in these movies.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Well, the dead cat scene in the beginning, like where he's like, they find the dead cat and they're like pissed at Herbert. They're like, "Why the fuck didn't you say something?" He's like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll just leave a note saying like dead cat. I'll give you the details later."
Yeah.
It's like that kind of like twisted sense of humor. Yeah, definitely.
Like the way he treats, like he reanimates the dead and the way he treats like chaos going on around him, as he plays it fucking straight, but like is so goddamn funny.
Yeah.
Like nonchalant, he like brings somebody back to life and will start fucking killing somebody else, and he's like super nonchalant about it, while the other guy's like losing his fucking shit.
Oh yeah, he'll be just like, yeah, chill, like calm down, calm down. Like
Like,
it'll be
calm
like
down, I'll take care of it. Like it's fucking great. I love that
he's
shit.
like wonderfully non-phased by everything.
Right.
To be like even the severed head character, like this character that he knew that he initially killed, that is now just a severed head with its like disembodied like corpse like walking around and shit. He's like
Yeah. Like
he's like,
it's
who's
so
gonna
dark.
listen to you? Get a job in a sideshow.
Like even that girl's like, isn't it like Barbara Crampton's dad? Like gets
Yeah.
he reanimates
Oh
her
god.
dad. Like
And
that's pretty
it's
fucked up.
terrible. Like he fucking yeah, he like kills him and fucking reanimates him just to be like a fucking like insane like a fucking basically the fucking monkey from Nope. Like
Yeah.
and he's this ravenous like human being. That was cool
Well,
though.
I don't know. Do we have anything else? Like we just kind of go off on this shit.
We
Anything
came
else?
back to we did come back to Reanimator this time though.
We
So
did.
let's
We
pat
came back
ourselves
with
on
it.
the
We
back.
didn't come
Pat
back
ourselves
to
on the back.
Reanimator. We started
Oh
Reanimator.
no, yeah, he's right. We actually started it because I think the
Let's
only
not
time
pat
I said
ourselves on the
anything
back too hard. It's not it's you know,
before I went insane, I think the only thing I said about Reanimator is that Reanimator and the topic were what we were talking about tonight.
well, I mean, it's the fun part of this podcast, though, is
It
to just
is
kind of disappear
See,
into fucking random shit. Because
right
you
now
know,
it's
come on, there's like a million podcasts out there that have it's covered fucking Reanimator like millions of. We just
it's
kind of like
hard
go
for
off on our
me
tangents.
during October. It's hard for me to get on a podcast and talk about like these topics with you guys at this time because there's so much coming out
Yeah, there's just so much
Yeah,
happening right
and
now.
I've watched so many things. I just need to like I'm just like, oh, I just want let me just talk about this shit first, and then we all get sidetracked or whatever, or we each do it. Like, but it's like it's extra hard like in October to do so.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
if it was like fucking January, I'd be like, yeah, Reanimator, dude. I watched it twice last night because I'm not going outside
Yeah, true.
and I'm not watching.
It's
There's
like
nothing else out.
what do we have to say about Reanimator that hasn't been already said like a million times by a million other like fucking like podcasts?
Yeah.
So
That's
Um,
you
but
know,
I get
yeah.
it.
So I guess on that note, thank you to anyone and everyone that watches. Next week we are talking about, actually, oddly enough, we're talking about Nope. Um,
oh,
so that'll be a fun episode. And then the episode after Nope is going to be our Halloween episode, which, if last week went off the rails, I already know that our Halloween episode is just going to be a whole plethora of shit. It's probably going to be a wildly long episode. I'm going to make sure that we can just go as long as we can for that one. Because that's going to be a really fun episode. So yeah, don't forget, anyone that's watching, to comment, like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/thefilmsection, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week.